If you were to tell me last year that 2024 was going to be a good year for horror, I would have been cautiously optimistic. But everything I've seen and covered on this channel lately, and the other films I've seen and not covered, is quickly killing that optimism. Abigail by Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett, the guys behind Ready or Not, is no exception. The issues first presented themselves when the trailer was released and we were shown that cliché abounds in this movie. The story begins when a group of professional criminals are organized to kidnap an 11-year-old girl to hold her for 24 hours until her father pays her ransom. What they don't know is that she's actually a vampire who organized this game herself so she can feed on the criminals. Pretty good idea, but the execution isn't there. The problems start when we get our first character scene in the house. I don't really remember the characters' names because they're not worth remembering, so we're going to call them Fodder, Gen Z, Muscles, Black Guy, Detective, and Plot Armor. As the group are seemingly biding their time playing pool and having a drink, Fodder claims that one of his skills is reading people. He proceeds to read the room, but when he's finished, Plot Armor calls him an idiot and proceeds to perfectly dissect the group using her observation and deductive reasoning skills rivaling that of Batman. She then gets owned by Detective, who calls her out for being a junkie because she eats candy, wears long sleeves, and doesn't want to drink with them. Good job, Detective, but you were right about Plot Armor, so now everybody else is mad at you.
Shut the fuck up!
We are given some character development for Plot Armor when we learn about her losing the custody of her son because she's a junkie, but we're supposed to be sympathetic to her because she used to be an army medic, and now that she's out of the service, she can't get a job. You know, because of the drugs. She whines about this throughout the movie until Detective finally says, "You're a bad mom, do something about it." Finally, the action starts when Plot Armor tries to make Abigail feel calm around her, and Abigail reveals that something bad is going to happen to every one of them.
I'm sorry about what's gonna happen to you.
Because cute little 8-year-olds whispering threats is just oh so scary and original.
I see dead people.
You crazy? Your mom's maggot food.
They're here.
Not blaspheme, Malachi. You know not the laws. He speaks them only to me.
She tells Detective he does something dumb because the script wants him to, and then the action starts, and Abigail reveals that she's a vampire, and the hunt is on. The rest of this movie is just a mess of running around while Abigail violently murders the group after offering cliché line after cliché line. The twist of this film is revealed in the trailer.
I fucking hate ballet.
So the whole time you're watching, you're just waiting for it to happen. The movie can't decide if it wants to be a horror comedy or just a straight horror, so it fails to impress on both ends. The movie tries to set up rules about vampires, but then doesn't follow them. If a vampire drinks your blood but doesn't kill you, apparently you become its mind slave. We see evidence of this when Abigail bites Lisa Frankenstein and turns her into a mind slave, but then it doesn't happen to Plot Armor because, guess why? Every character is stupid except for Detective, until he gets turned into a vampire. Then he becomes an idiot. But we, as an audience, aren't supposed to like him, so he's a bad guy now. The big reveal at the end of Abigail's father is flat and wasted, and the final shot of the film is Plot Armor smirking at herself for not learning anything or having any character arc to speak of. And if you're mad at me for spoiling that Plot Armor doesn't die, you don't watch enough movies. I've seen a lot of stuff from these two directors, including their sections in Southbound and VHS, and it's clear that they only have one good movie in them, and that's mostly due to the fact that the premise in Ready or Not is really hard to screw up. I don't ask for much. I watch a lot of low-budget, straight-to-streaming movies that are far more inventive, funny, and transgressive than this forgettable chore.